Right, guys, welcome back. Let's talk about the detailed syllabus. It's going to take about 5 to 10 minutes to talk about the detailed syllabus of SBL ACCA. And the greatest product ever for me is this one, because many of the students globally ask me for the spotting of the questions every time, every individual sitting. So before we talk about that, I'd like to show you how I have plot our entire syllabus into this Excel spreadsheet. So from the left top, let's check. That's the broad syllabus. As I told you, we have 8 different modules. Can you remember? Yes. For example, the first one is the leadership. So we've already finished the quality of the leadership and even the culture, right? And as I told you, the ethics will be talked about next time, not today, because it needs your fundamental knowledge of that. So basically, the module of leadership is further divided into 3 different areas to be tested: leadership qualities, culture, and professional ethics, something like that. And each one of them has been further detailed into the great amount of small detailed syllabus right here. And after that, ladies and gentlemen, let me show you something interesting, because I have summarized some of the good questions, previous questions for you to practice before your ACCA SBL papers, exam papers. So these are the previous questions from P1 and the P3. I call them the entry-level questions. It's about 10 to 15. I guess 10 will be enough for you. So practice that 10 questions before you move on. And after that, we have 4 specimen papers. The first one is called DCS. Second, real company. Third is a marking scheme, which will be talked about later. The examiner asks you specifically to read the marking scheme because you need to know how they will deal with the marks. All right. And after that, specimen paper number 3, but actually is the first one. We call them a NABI. That's accommodation business. So we have basically 3 specimen paper plus 1 marking scheme, together 4 specimens. And after that, we have about 6 or 67 different past year questions. Why I said 6 to 7? Because the final one, March 2021, has not been reviewed yet. It's not released. And what we having are the blue one. We have 3 different papers to be practiced, and each paper have 3 to 5 different questions. And the area of testing has already been summarized by myself and plot everything into this diagram. I guess the biggest gift by myself for you is this diagram. But don't ask for my original version of Excel spreadsheet, because I have to keep updating that one. But what I can give it to you is the screenshot of everything. Are you happy? I guess you like the most, right? And coming back to the left hand side, Module 1, leadership, 3 parts. Module 2, governance. You need to focus on the following criteria. Let's check. First, agency. That's your basic fundamental knowledge from F level. Agency theories, stakeholder theories, stewardship theories. So you need to study that. But I specifically put something right here. It's called D+ exam specific. That means the basic fundamental knowledge are different from the way the examiners testing you. So they test into a different way, and you need to practice the basic knowledge, then practice the exam ways, exam approaches as well. Don't always focus on the fundamental basic knowledge itself. All right? Don't forget the practicing does make sense. After the agency, we have stakeholder analysis. That's Mandelo matrix. Keep informed, keep satisfied. Key players, minimum effort, identify the most relevant stakeholders and accordingly manage them. All right? And after that, we could have the governance approaches. Basically, we have two governance approach. First one is from UK Corporate Governance Code. The other one is from US Sarbanes-Oxley. In SBL exam, we will not be tested separately. We test it all together, collectively. So guys, you don't have to memorize every individual differences and the details between the two. UK Corporate Governance Code and Sarbanes-Oxley, no need to focus on the two differences. What you need to study are the best practice among the two. So in the exam, they will not ask you according to the US Sarbanes-Oxley or according to the UK Corporate Governance Code. What you need to be facing will be only on the best practice of the corporate governance scope or the corporate governance approach. All right, guys. Carry on. After that, there will be a reporting. Reporting, that's we call them integrated reporting, and this knowledge is originally from your ACCA F level. We call them Audit and Assurance. During that paper, the first time we've studied the integrated reporting since 2013. ACCA put the integrated reporting into our syllabus. It existed for about 8 years already, ladies and gentlemen. Integrated reporting, very important. You need to tell them the reasons for us to write down the integrated reporting. You need to tell them what is the integrated thinking and advantages of integrated reporting, disadvantages of integrated reporting, and what are the features of that integrated reporting rather than the traditional financial reporting approach. Okay, so integrated reporting is very important in our syllabus as well. And here, the board of directors, the way that they manage the company and their remuneration and the reward system, and how are they going to tackle different risks in terms of the 4 subcommittees such as the Audit Committee, Risk Committee. These 2 committees are basically set up to focus on the risk. So if there's no risk committee, who is going to take good care of the risk? The Audit Committee. But Audit Committee, Risk Committee, Remuneration Committee, Nomination Committee, these 4 committees all reported to the Board of Directors. They are actually the subdivision of the board. So who has the fundamental ultimate responsibility to take good care of the risk? It is the board. One more time. Who has the ultimate responsibility to take good care of the risk of the company? The board. But the board sometimes is too busy. They don't have the time to focus on the details of the risk management. So they set up a subcommittee called Risk Committee, or rather Audit Committee, to take good care of it. Right, ladies and gentlemen, can you follow me? Right, so this is the basically what we need to study under the second module called governance. And similarly, at the same time, you need to focus on the public sector governance as well. They are the same. And we have a question called real company. You need to practice that as well from your specimen paper. So module number 3 is the syllabus of strategy, as I told you, strategy, position, choice, and implementations. So first, understand the concept of the strategy. That's V2MGO. See? Did you study that? Yes, but the original syllabus only asks you to recognize the fundamental nature of strategies and the strategy decisions with different organizational contexts. They didn't ask you to specifically describe the V2MGO. That model was originally from mine. I help you to construct that models to understand the basic concept of the strategies. And after that, environmental issue. You need to study the models such as PASTEL, strategy drift, Porter's diamond. Porter's diamond can be called a competitive advantage of nations as well. We call them a CAN model, competitive advantage of nations. Right, and scenario planning as well. That's your environmental issues. After that, Porter's 5 forces and Porter's value chain, and even the Porter's market segmentations. So these are the knowledge that we focus on the competitive advantages and the competitive forces in your company. And after that, how are we going to organize our internal resources, capability, competencies of our organizations? That's your fourth subsection of your strategy. So we have other models to study, such as varied. I told you, varied, right? Varied model and SWOT model. And then also be aware of the contribution of organizational knowledges. We have tacit knowledge, we have explicit knowledge. The reason that we set up a ERP system is to help us to construct our tacit knowledge and use and adopt those tacit knowledges into an explicit way, right? We call them a knowledge management. And choices as well. We have different levels of choice. We have a corporate level of choice, and we have a business level of choice. The corporate level choice are mainly focusing on the value-adding activity, because that choice are made from the headquarters. That's the parent company's job. The parent company decide what to take and what to keep or what to acquire. They decide how are the entire organization, the entire business investment portfolios to be valued added. But the business level choice are made by different professional managers in different subunits, such as the strategic business unit. We call them a division as well. So each divisions or each strategic business unit, their professional manager need to decide how are we going to compete successfully with our potential rivals or existing rivals. So the attention of the fundamental purpose of choices are different. First choice is the parent choice. They decide what company to acquire. They decide which business to keep, which business to divest. Because the reason for them to do that is to make the entire business portfolios value-adding. The other level of choice, we don't call them a corporate level of choice, we call them a business level choice. That choice is very micro, because that choices are totally be made by the professional managers in your business unit. Their entire attention is focusing on how are they gonna compete successfully with different rivals, existing or potential rivals. Can you follow me, guys? Right, these are the choice topics. These are basically the first three. Now, let's repeat one more time. Leadership, corporate governance, strategies. Finished. Fourth one, risk. As I told you, risk is fundamental knowledges from your audit and assurance paper. And the risk is further divided into identification, assessment, and measurement of the risk, together with managing, monitoring, and mitigating of the risks. So these are the two approaches to under the risk category. And after you study these two subsections of the risk, you understand how are we gonna do the risk management in the company. So these two are very important. Test it very frequently in your exam, as you can see. Guys, let me show you. See, test it very frequently in your exam. And after that, number 5, module number 5, technology and data analytics. Once again, I have to tell you one more time, we are accountant. We do not focus too much on their technology itself, but we need to focus on the way that we deploy those technologies, use the technologies, adopt those latest technology, embrace the latest technologies into application or your strategy implementation. So we need, as an accountant, we need to understand the knowledge, understand the basic technologies, and then evaluate that technology, whether our application of that technology is foreseeable or not, with a well-calculated risk management. So these are basically some technology you have to study: cloud computing, mobile technologies, big data, data analytics, and after that, e-business value chain, because the technology changed the way the business is doing. The traditional business value chain has been changed a lot during the e-business time. So e-business companies, the e-commerce companies such as the different platforms like Amazon, Alibaba, Jingdong, Taobao, right? So these are even the Amazon. So these are famous e-commerce platforms. Their value chain has been changed a lot. So we need to be able to evaluate whether this company, the current company's e-business value chain is good enough to handle the changes in the external environment recently. All right, guys. And number 6, module number 6 is about the internal audit and the audit approaches. Again, these are your fundamental knowledges from F level AA as well, audit and assurance, or we used to call them F8. So basic knowledges, internal control systems and audit and compliances and internal control report. These are the 3 areas to be tested. Very easy, no need to worry about that. And again, module number 7, your F level knowledges, financing, planning, decision making. So F5, financial analysis, and F9, performance management. These are the 2 different papers for you to study, again, before taking the SBL exam, because in the higher level exam, the lecturer like me will not teach the fundamental levels knowledge once again. We assume you have the fundamental knowledge. At least you need to know how to calculate the ROCE, return on capital employed. At least you know the differences between the discounted cash flow, or like MPV and IRR. What are the 2 different approaches and which one has the advantages over the other one, right? So in our level, the strategy professional level, we will not teach you the calculation of that models. We need to determine whether the approaches of their evaluation of investment appraisal is correct or is appropriate or not. So the levels of testing is getting higher. And section number 7 are easy, but section number 8 is, I guess, is the most challenging one, because many of you do not have the experiences of project management. So the basic structure have already been changed by myself into the following way. I've divided the module number 8 into 7 different subsections. The first 4, I call them enabling success, organizing structure, right? Structure, technology, human, and method. These are 4 fundamental enabling success methods, or the success areas to be studied. In simple English, if you want to implement your strategy successfully, the previous 4 areas must be thorough and considered, must be taken into considerations as well. One more time, structure, technology, human, and your performance. These are the 4 areas to be considered before your implementation. And after that, if we want to change, we have to study the method of change, the process of change, and the project that manage a change is the project management. So guys, it's 4 plus 3. These are the 7 subdetails under module number 8. And so today we have finished the entire module number 1. We finished 1 module besides the ethics thing that will take about 20 minutes to study. After that, we have already finished the 1 out of 8. Feeling good? All right, guys, and that's the basic fundamental details of your ACCA SBL study. That's it. Any questions? If not, let's take another short break. And after that, I have another question for you. It's called machine shop, because that is the one that the examiner specifically asking us to study before your examination. We need to know how they mark your exam script. All right, guys, take another break. Enjoy. Coming back later. See you soon. Bye.